Whenever August came around, we had a lot going on around that time. A lot of changes going on with the store in general, with district managers in general. It was kind of a chaotic mess. We had a meeting with the new district manager, the regional manager, Jessica Val, and then the district manager was Courtney Keith at the time. They had a meeting with each and every one of the managers. They sat us down about our expectations and told us a little bit about what was going on and some of the changes that were going to happen and everything like that. That's whenever I had just found out I was pregnant, so I decided to, hey, this is where I can let them both know. I was speaking directly to our regional manager, Jessica Val, and told her, I'm pregnant. And she was like, yes, we do know that. With her saying that, yes, we know that, that's basically everybody. I mean, there's only about 5 of them that communicate who are higher than the store managers. Come October, we had a big manager meeting with all the managers from every district, including one of the owners from corporate. And it was Blake Costello. And he was here in Lubbock with us, along with Jessica Val. Well, I remember, we were at main event. They made a comment just, being like, well, she's in heels, and she's pregnant. And they were like, well, we'll see who wants to play and who doesn't. We just finished up our bowling and stuff, and we were meeting at BJ's for dinner. Blake was to the right of me. He was at the head of the table. And one of the other store managers was to the left of me. And she made a comment about my picture on my phone, my screensaver, just about it was a picture of me, my husband, and my stepson at the time. That's when Jessica was like, I didn't know you had another kid. I was like, I don't, he's my stepson. This is going to be my first, I'm pregnant with my daughter. They knew since then, and it was not a big secret at all. February 1st, it was a normal day. I went to the store, worked, my normal shift. I actually had off Tuesday for a doctor's appointment. It was my 36-week doctor's appointment. I woke up Tuesday morning feeling completely different, like I knew something was going on. I called the hospital, called my doctor. They just moved up my appointment sooner than what it was. And when I got to the doctor, they told me, yes, you could have her today. You could have her in 2 weeks. You could, you just don't know about any of this stuff. But before I left the doctor's office, my doctor did say that he wanted to test me for pre-eclampsia. If I tested positive for that, they were going to put me on bed rest. That evening, whenever I got home, basically, I let them know what was going on. Courtney Keith never responded to me. Jessica Val did respond, and she was like, thank you for letting us know, keeping us in the loop. I'm so sorry to hear about these complications. Just definitely keep us updated with anything that's going on. The night went on. I was here at the house, and I was in a lot of pain. This is my first kid, so obviously I had no idea what this was going to be like. But it started getting worse and worse and worse as the night went on. So around 10:30 p.m., my husband and I took off, and I was like, I have to go to the hospital. We went to the hospital, and as soon as I got in there, I was still dilated to a 2 where I was during the day. They did keep me in there because my contractions were strong, so they kept me in there just monitoring me until about 1 a.m. in the morning. And when they monitored me, they checked me at 1 a.m. It was already, I was already dilated to a 6. And so once that happened, I got situated. They put me in my room. Once I got in my room, it was maybe 3:30 in the morning. I had kept my coworkers up to date with what was going on. And I was letting them know, hey, this is what's going on. I'm in the hospital. And they were very understanding. They knew exactly, what could happen. I emailed Courtney Keith, Jessica Val, Blake Costello, and James Klein. I was telling them, hey, I went into labor a whole month early. I got all my shifts covered from this time to this time. Please let me know what paperwork I need to sign because this is happening. it's happening now and not later. After that, I really, I didn't pay attention to my phone anymore or anything like that, obviously, but I didn't hear back from them until the next day around 5 p.m. I got a notification from Hot Schedules, which is the scheduling app or computer app that we used to schedule our weekly schedules. Notification saying that I was terminated. Once that happened, my nurses actually came in and were asking me, is something wrong? What's going on? Because I literally, my blood pressure went skyrocket just by getting that notification, because I was supposed to be on maternity leave, not terminated. I should not have been like that. That's not the proper term for anything. I called Courtney Keith and I was like, why am I was notified from Hot Schedules? I got a notification saying that I was terminated. And she was like, I just have to put you in there as that. It doesn't mean you're terminated. That's just how I have to stick you in the computer and this and that. And I was like, okay. I was just making sure. I was like, because I should not be terminated. And she was like, no, you're not. She was like, I just have to do it in the computer. I was like, okay. I was like, thank you. I was just making sure of that. And we hung up. After I talked to Courtney Keith, it made me feel a lot better. That wasn't my focus. My focus was on my daughter. She was, since she was born premature, I was keeping a close eye on her, trying to get everything situated with that. Even with me, still trying to get healed up so I can take care of her easier. Once all that happened and things settled down, I did get an email from Blake Costello, and literally all the email said was, congratulations, please refer to the handbook, and had the handbook attached to it. And on the handbook, we are supposed to be covered under the FMLA Act. The only other thing that it stated was I was supposed to let them know a week in advance that I was going to take maternity leave, which I couldn't. I did let them know about complications, when my due date was, everything. I did email back, stating, okay, what do I need to do? Basically stating back to the handbook about questions and saying, I did call Courtney Keith about me being terminated in the Hot Schedules and why it was that way. I referred every single question I could that the handbook stated in that email, and sent that email twice. Sent it that same day that he responded to me, and sent it the next day also. And I never got a response from them at all, from nobody. They did not give me any kind of forms. They did not tell me, the protocol on how to go about it or anything like that. They didn't tell me anything. I was on maternity leave. After, about maybe, 4 weeks, my husband was still here, and he got to be here with me. And he would, tell me, hey, you're still technically an employee, at Palm Beach Tan. Go take a break, go relax. So I went and I could go tan still. I was still in the computer as an employee. All my employees were like, hey, when do you plan on coming back? They would ask me, when do you plan on coming back? No one had told me anything. No one said, oh, Brittany, you got fired. You're terminated because so-and-so, because basically you had a baby. No one contacted me after that email that I sent to him. Nobody contacted me at all whatsoever, and I was under the impression I was still employed on my maternity leave, because I was still on the computer also. One of the employees, called me and was just telling me, hey, this is what's going on. Someone's being trained for, this store. Someone's being trained for this store. Some of the new girls are saying that's how I've heard about it, this and that, and it's just kind of okay, well, what am I supposed to do? I have no confirmation. They were already trying to replace me without even me being told that I was terminated or anything like that. I got a phone call from my dad saying, hey, you got a letter in the mail from your insurance from Palm Beach Tan saying that your insurance is going to be cut off April 1st. Because of employment termination. So as of that letter, that is when I knew I was terminated for having my baby. So I did call the insurance people. They clarified everything. They confirmed everything. It was because I was terminated employee. I also sent an email to, I sent it to everybody. I sent it to Blake, Jessica, James, and Courtney. You know, asking, you know, I got this letter in the mail. I thought I was on maternity leave. When was, like, basically, when was I terminated? I was never told anything, stuff like that, and I still didn't get a response. I think they definitely just take advantage of the fact that most of their employees are younger, and when it comes down to part-time employees, most of them are college kids. I don't know of an employee that has felt comfortable to go to them telling them, here's my situation, especially if it was something having to do with, you know, issues with someone higher up or anything like that. I've never worked for anybody who was like this, and I think it's disappointing, because it was a really enjoyable job. You know, I enjoyed my customers, everything like that, but it's just one of those things, like, you have to look out for yourself. It's not just a job that, you know, that we can't do anything about. This was not just a job for me. Like, this was my career as a store manager. They're higher up. They just think that they can do whatever they please. They think that they're not going to get caught with anything. I would definitely just say, you know, read your handbook very thoroughly from the very beginning. And even if they don't show you anything, ask for it. Let them know, okay, you know, even if you're not pregnant, what would happen? Like, that's not, you can ask that question, like, what would happen? But look out more for yourself in the long run. I mean, obviously, Michaela and I, we had no idea we were going to end up pregnant and have a baby. You know, that was, that was nowhere, you know, that was not planned, but it happens. Life happens, and you can't control any of that.